done cross country, running, soccer. They're all team sports, but what makes rowing so cool and unique is that I'd say it's a team sport of like the highest order. Literally, you guys are all in the same boat together. So how I do directly affects the 7 other guys in my boat, just as what they do affects me. So it's this great mentality, and it's this great kind of group effort to achieve a goal, and it's really fun, and that's what makes it so unique. Growing up, I was a big soccer guy. That was kind of like my go-to sport. I really liked it. I played like pretty competitively. And then actually in the off season for cross training, we were running, and I kind of just picked up on it and like had a blast. Thought it was something really fun doing distance running. Committed fully to that. So my sophomore and junior year, I was just running track and cross country, which was a lot of fun. I mean, some of my best like athletic memories were on like my high school teams, and things were definitely going really well. I was getting like Division I looks kind of all over the place, and was a big dream was to run Division I in college. Then the last day of my junior year, I was on a rope swing that went out like over a cliff and like went out over water. It was probably about like 40-foot drop to the water, something that I'd done a whole bunch growing up. The rope, just by dumb luck, I mean not luck, on luck, broke before I was out like over the cliff all the way. So it snapped and I hit the ground and then rolled off the cliff, but I didn't have enough momentum to like clear the shore at the base of the cliff. So I fell about 40 feet and landed on a boulder and had burst fractures in my L3, L4, L5 vertebrae. I broke my wrist. So that kind of marked the end of my running career. It's kind of one of those things where it was easily one of the worst things to ever happen in my life, and probably one of the toughest things was I saw my mom, and she was just you know, heartbroken. I'm her baby boy, and a big driver for me from that point was like, I'm gonna do everything in my power to like make my mom proud of me every day. It was tough, you know, like kind of going from like potential Division I athlete to not being able to walk. It was the most humbling experience of my life. So I just started to focus on just the basic things, the little things, the stuff you take for granted, you know? Like, I remember one day a bike rode past my hospital and I was like, oh my God, like I might never ride a bike again. I don't even like riding bikes, but it was like, I might not ride a bike again. I don't take anything for granted. Like, I love walking places just because I can. So kind of throughout my senior year, didn't really have a sport. Like, the sport was just like recovering, because like I was fully paralyzed for about 3 to 4 months. So a lot of that was just, it wasn't like, let's see if we can run a Division I level. You know, I was like, let's see if we can walk again, you know. Ended up coming to Gonzaga just because I loved the school. Then I want to say the second day of like freshman orientation, the assistant coach to the men's rowing team came up to me, big guy, Mark Voorhees, he's 6'10", so like spotted me from over the crowd. Walks up to me like, hey, like, what's your name? Was a really nice guy, and asked if I'd ever thought about rowing. And I was like, no, it's, you know, not something that I'd ever saw myself doing. It's honestly not even something I know anything about. And he's like, you're really tall. I think it'd be a good fit for you. We take a bunch of walk-ons every year. You should just come out, see if you like it, see if it sticks. So that's what I did, and I was super bad. Like really bad. I had no idea what was going on. I was so slow. I didn't make the travel team my freshman year, but I fell in love with the sport. And I thought like, wow, I'm having this much fun while I'm this bad at it. Imagine how much fun it's gonna be when I actually know what I'm doing. Freshman year, like I said, wasn't very good, but was something I was really interested in. And then came back, I'd worked really hard all summer. Going into sophomore year, I was like really determined to like come back and start making a difference on the team. And I want to say it was the second or third week into sophomore year, I had rods like put into my back, took a stroke, and just felt like something really odd, like kind of a snap. Went to a doctor, got x-rays. I saw that I actually snapped one of the rods in my back. But recovery from that surgery and just all the trauma to it put me out all of sophomore year. So then fast forward to my junior year, came in just like itching to row. You know, I still was all right. I definitely gotten a lot better than where I was freshman year, but I was just ready to fully commit to it. And I'd say that's when I definitely started kind of taking off. Junior year, I got invited out to a national team, just like ID camp that was in Seattle. So for that, they take, 40, 50 of the best guys in the area. Just kind of get a feel, and if you do well enough there, it can start to open up doors for other routes to make national teams. So after that, I then got invited out to kind of just like almost like trial camp, like a trial period with the national team that was done at the Olympic Training Center in Chula Vista. To get to row with them was a very cool opportunity. It was very motivating to be like, this is definitely something I want to do and pursue. So then I came back to Gonzaga, really just started hammering away. Was like, all of a sudden I had this much bigger goal than just Gonzaga rowing. It was to make a national team. And come summertime, I got invited out to the selection camp in Boston. After selection camp, I made the team, which was super, super exciting. It was very, affirming, because for a while I just kind of, worked hard and made things happen, but I was surrounded by so many great rowers that a lot of it was like, well, do I belong, and it's like, do I cut it next to these guys, and let alone, the U.S. guys, but, the rest of the world, because that's really what you're looking at now. It's like, not only do I want to be the fastest at Gonzaga or in the U.S., but I want to be the fastest in the world. So I remember getting my first uniform. We were in an airport, and we were flying to Milan. I think we were in the New York, whatever airport's in New York, and I got it, and I was with a bunch of guys that have made the team. They've been on the team for 4, 5, 6 years, so no biggie to them, right? Just another uniform. But me, I was like, holy, this is a United States uniform. So I played it cool, but I waited. It was a red eye to Milan, and at some point in the night when everyone else was asleep, I was so excited. I'd never been out of the country before this, so it was just a whirlwind of firsts for me. I went into my carry-on, got the USA uniform out, and went into the bathroom on the plane and put it on, and just, I'm crammed in this tiny little bathroom. I was kind of looking at myself in a USA uniform, and it was one of the biggest honors, of all time. It was so surreal, and it was obviously in this weird setting, but just to see, the United States of America across my chest, it was an honor, and it is an honor every time I put it on. And that's definitely something that's driving, it's like, when I get on that line, it's so much bigger than me now, so I think it'd honestly be disrespectful to not work as hard as I can and to not give it everything I have. Take a moment to appreciate everything that's going right in your life. Sometimes it's the little things that once you start noticing it, you start realizing hey, it's not as bad as it seems. That kind of big dark cloud that's hanging over your head starts to look a little lighter, and some sun starts shining through, and once you start appreciating that, everything gets put into perspective and everything doesn't seem quite as bad.